Hello my Pisces friends, this is Kristen Redman, and today we're going to go over the planetary energies that are going to be making the largest impacts for you in this upcoming 2017. And this is really set to be a transformative year for you in so many ways. And one of the areas that's going to be most impacted is your finances, thanks to Jupiter and Libra balancing the scales in those areas for you, bringing abundance and opportunities and financial health that you've been looking for quite some time. This is a 14-year cycle that's coming due for you, bringing some luck and opportunity in that area. Another area is that Saturn is transiting through Sagittarius, bringing through some solid structures and foundations for you in terms of career. Okay. And the last one, but not least, in this massive year, is that this is the year of personal transformation for you, Pisces. This is a year when you're really able to get in touch with your true authentic self, and revelations are made as to what it is that true authentic self that you really are. So let's get right into it. Let's start with money, okay? Because I know that's a major issue that you've been working on the past year. So Jupiter takes 14 years to go through to get back to a sign. Okay, it takes 14 years to get around that wheel. And when Jupiter goes into Libra, that's when scales get balanced. That's when things start to even out, and that's when luck starts to kind of make a little bit more of a harmonious balance for each person, okay, involved, especially in relationships. But in Pisces, if we were to start the astrology wheel with Pisces at the beginning, with you at the beginning of the chart, Libra lands in your house of finances, okay? So it's been 14 years since the planet of luck and expansion has hit your house of finances, Pisces. I mean, that's a while, okay? So expect that this year there's going to be a lot of focus on that, okay? A lot of focus on your joint finances, not just the money that you make, because of course that's going to be a big impact this year too, as you kind of face some new career changes and opportunities in that realm. But we're really focusing on those joint finances, where your spouse is making money. This may be a year where they really get a chance to increase their income, which ultimately helps your finances. New stability is the focus, as Jupiter and Saturn, the planet that sets those foundations for us, make a really harmonious connection at the end of August. Keep an eye out for that time frame, probably for something wonderful for your spouse to happen in that time frame. This could be a time frame when inheritance comes through. Maybe you get lucky with a lotto ticket or something. Whatever it is, it's something that it's not necessarily the money that you've earned, it's money that's somebody else's that you get to benefit from. Not that you didn't earn it, it's just the way the wheel goes, I suppose. So opportunities for a better paying job, for a pay raise, for a bonus, anything along those lines is going to be very out there in the forefront for you. January 28th through March 10th. Okay, keep an eye out for that for you guys, because there's some really positive opportunities coming through for you to really increase that money. So now another thing too that's going to be happening, because this is going to be landing somewhere around birthdays for a lot of you Pisces folks, is that we've got Venus, the planet of money, which is going retrograde from March 4th until April 15th. Now, when this happens, it gives us all an opportunity to kind of look back at how we have spent our money in the past, how we've set up our budgets and financial spreadsheets and our structures around our finances, okay? And this is where we start to see the holes and the cracks that are in those foundations. So it's a really good time to review the budget, set things in place, okay? Venus only goes retrograde every 3 years, so when it does, this is a great opportunity to really start out on some great footing, especially since this year the universe is really working in your favor to balance out your pocketbook big time, okay? Let go of some old ideas and the old ways that you handled money, and really start looking to the future for positive changes, ways to invest your money, save your money, and work with it, okay? So I would say don't necessarily take out a loan in that time frame. Maybe wait until after April 15th, when Venus leaves retrograde, to really start enacting things, but definitely take advantage of this time frame to make those plans. So the next part we're going to move to is home for these wonderful watery Pisces friends of mine. April 21st through June 4th, I would see that there's going to be some progress made on some major home changes, whether that's remodeling, whether that's moving, whether that's some structures within the family. I see you really getting motivated to make some changes in the home in that time frame. You may be a little bit more outspoken with your family about what it is that you want, and you may find that you're a little bit more selfish in that time frame. But it's a healthy selfishness that helps you to get your needs met, okay, in terms of where it is you're living and in terms of your family structure as well. If you've been having arguments or issues in that area, this is a time frame when you're really able to assert yourself a little bit better thanks to Mars working with you. So let's kind of move into that too, because this could be part of that family that gets adjusted. Love for those relationships. Now you'll find that not only do you have that Venus retrograde, okay, that's going to be happening in that time frame. It's not just about money. That's also about love. And when I said it was in the house of finances, that's also in the house that deals with our intimate relationships. So anybody that you find yourself in a relationship where you are intimate, there's going to be a lot of reviewing that's going on in those relationships as well, okay? So August, September, there's going to be some Mercury retrogrades. Mercury is our planet of communication and thought. So expect there to be a little bit of crossed wires and miscommunications, perhaps, in those relationships that lead to some arguments, okay? But that's okay, because that's helping you to really assert yourself and get your needs heard a little bit better on the part of the other person. There's this new confidence that you are going to be finding this year in yourself, Pisces, to ask for what it is that you want and to really take charge of what it is that you want in this lifetime, okay? A lot of energy behind that this year, where usually, Pisces, you're going to be a little bit more one to hide that, okay? Hide that side of yourself, and this year you're not really going to be inclined to do that. So that's a wonderful thing with relationships. So career-wise, though, let's get to careers, because this is a really massive thing for you, which ultimately leads to happiness. My Pisces friends that are so very much concerned about the social welfare and the better good of the underdog in this world, you've been incarnated in this life to do that, you know, to really help support those who can't support themselves, and you feel so deeply for mankind. That's why God puts you on this earth, because of those deep feelings that you have. And this year you're going to find that May 11th to the 25th, and November 5th through the 14th. This is a really pivotal time for everybody this year, but for you, this is going to be making the most impact in the area of your money, your finances, not the joint finances. This is your money, okay? Well, I guess that could be joint if it's shared with somebody, but ultimately it's how you make that money, Pisces. So this has to do with Uranus, the planet that brings us unexpected things, unexpected opportunities. Expect some exciting breakthroughs to happen in that time. Whether it's work, you get a raise, you get an opportunity to get a new job where it boosts your income. There's something that brings you more money than you've been used to making, Pisces, and you deserve it. Because remember, this year Jupiter's balancing the scales in your money no matter what. You may have a side business or something that you want to start, and you'll notice that you'll start profiting on that this year. This is a wonderful year for you to do that. Or maybe you've had a business and nothing happened with it. You'll find that this year in that time frame, May 11th to the 25th, November 5th through the 14th, definitely has some breakthroughs and good things happening there. Another thing, too, would be for professional partnerships. I see that happening as well, where unexpected alliances happen and these networking opportunities appear that really help you to get moving along on those financial goals, career goals, bringing new stability in your career and making those right choices for the long term, okay? Because we've got Saturn moving through that area too, and that really sets those foundations for us. And it's on this 30-year cycle, okay? It takes 30 years for Saturn to get all the way around back to a sign, where Jupiter takes 14 years. Saturn, the restrictive planet, the teacher, the one that sets those boundaries and those foundations for us, it takes 30 years. So once it goes through that time frame, I mean, it's been 30 years since it's been in this area for you, so you may have found 30 years ago, maybe it wasn't so much career, maybe it was just your status in the world, maybe something changed in your family dynamic or with your dad, because that also rules the 10th house, that the world saw you differently. Maybe there was a divorce, maybe there was a marriage, maybe there was something, but regardless, your reputation changed at that time. This time frame, it's about your career, your foundations, your family, your movement, and you'll find that now you start a 30-year cycle where you may be able to get yourself invested in a company where it's long-term. So, wonderful year for you, thanks to Saturn and Jupiter working together. Now, Jupiter, once it moves out of that house of finances, started last September where you were really focusing on that area, and you're starting to see those recalibrations of those scales happening, especially at the beginning part of this year. Really start seeing some changes. But Jupiter, once it moves out of there, October 10th, it's moving into your 9th house, okay? And it's moving into Scorpio. And when it does this, you are going to find that you are expanding yourself in many, many ways. I feel that maybe you need to go back to school. Maybe you need to take some seminars or some classes online or some furthering education, whatever it is to help you on this new path that's setting those foundations for the career moving forward. Wonderful time. Okay, maybe it's an opportunity where it's not you learning. Maybe it's a time for you to teach these things that you've accrued over all these years. Regardless, it's a matter of tapping into the higher mind. And not only that, okay, you're expanding yourself and the horizons of others around you. And in the process of that, you're really getting in touch with your spiritual side. Not just your spiritual side, but what faith you have, what religion you're focused on. You're really restructuring those areas as well as Jupiter kind of expands your limited mind frame on those things. Maybe it's time to start expanding on that, expanding your community of that. Maybe you find a new church or somebody that's a mentor that helps you on a spiritual level that really helps you to evolve. Just in terms of other friendships or relationships, I see just with everybody in general, for Pisces, I see this year there's a real increased need, thanks to that Jupiter going through that 9th house, especially towards the end of the year, an increased need for honesty in all of your close relationships. I see that you really extending that more so to them, and you're getting more honesty in return, and you gain clarity on the friendships that are really working with you and the ones that are kind of working against you and the ones that need to go. So I see this being a year where there's a lot of weeding out of those that kind of hold you back, right? This is a year where you are recognizing a lot about yourself, Pisces. Okay, wherever eclipses happen in our charts indicate where all the major changes and new beginnings are going to be happening for that year. It's a very important thing for all astrologers to look at where the eclipses land on a chart for a client. And the eclipses for Pisces, okay, is at the very beginning of the chart. And the very beginning of the chart represents the self, how the world sees you, that mask that you wear to the world. There's new beginnings in that for you this year, okay? And there's lots of different things, but what that can be, but a lot of it results from letting go of some old baggage, okay? Issues from the past that you kind of keep carrying through, really going to get let go of, especially at the beginning of the year as these eclipses happen in your sign in Pisces. You're going to start seeing seeds of what those changes are at the beginning of February, at that first eclipse that happens on the 10th. And as it leads up to that second eclipse that happens on the 27th, you're really going to start getting signs from the universe about what needs to change, what things you need to let go of, maybe people from your past, friends from your past, career from the past, whatever it is, things that have to get let go, because it's about catapulting you into the future is what's happening. These new beginnings are starting, and there's a lot of endings that have to occur in that process. So you're going to find there's major transition, or maybe there's an irresistible offer that comes in some form, whether it's personal or professional, that really helps to catapult you, move you forward in these new beginnings. And not only beginnings in relationships with others, but the relationship that you have with yourself, the way that you value yourself, the way you look at yourself. And ultimately, that's going to transform the way that the world sees you, too. It's about being honest about who you are and what you want to do and what you need out of this life. There's so much focus on that this year for you, my Pisces friends, to really get in deep within yourself, to really change things within yourself, and to let the new you emerge, thanks to these eclipses that happen in your sign. So let's do this. Let's focus on the main birthdays, areas that are going to be impacted the most. Now, you may find as I go through these that you'll say, oh, well, I have a birthday in this one, and this sounds like this one sounded like it works with me better. That may very well be because it's working with your personal chart, okay? Contact me or a professional astrologer to kind of give you a reading on your chart this year to see where these eclipses are really going to be happening the hardest, where Jupiter is going to be expanding you, and where the luck's going to be coming in beyond what I've said. But when we set your sign, Pisces, at the beginning of the wheel, these are the areas where there's going to be the biggest impacts per birthday. So let's start it out here. March 1st through the 5th birthdays. Your ruling planet, Neptune, is going to be aligned with your sun, which represents your essence. So in a nutshell, that indicates that your spirituality is really going to come to the forefront. You are really going to be emerging in so many ways because you are letting go and you're surrendering old parts of yourself, old parts of that subconscious that we just talked about that are going to be getting dumped and left behind so the new you can emerge. You are really going to be seeing ways of change like you never have before, okay? To have such a slow moving planet like Neptune aligning with your sun, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity almost to really get in touch with the real you. And your spiritual side really comes out to help you find that. Trust your intuition. It won't lead you wrong. So if you have a birthday between March 8th and the 10th, this is a year that's ripe with opportunities with you, okay? Many, many, many wonderful opportunities because Pluto is going to be working with your sun. These are opportunities to transform yourself. You are that caterpillar that goes into a cocoon for a little bit of time this year to emerge as this beautiful new butterfly, because that is what Pluto does. It is the planet that brings endings, that lead to new beginnings, and it's working with your sun this year. And you're really going to be able to tap into that spiritual side, like we were just saying for the other folks, but also your creative side as well, that inner creative self that you truly are as a water sign. I think maybe some of you be very surprised at how creative. Maybe you're not the best artist, but you have creative ideas, you have creative mindsets, you have ways to help others create and express themselves in ways to feel happy with themselves. So definitely a year of massive transformation for you. Definitely the year of the butterfly for you. If you have a birthday between March 10th and the 20th, Saturn, that planet that really sets those boundaries and works on those foundations, is going to be squaring your sun. So you're going to have a lot of issues with those foundations in your life this year. Really readjusting of those. The thing with Saturn is that when it really creates the stability in our life. So you may find that you have a lot of increased responsibilities as a result of this, as the foundation's kind of shifting and changing in your life. You'll have a new appreciation and an understanding of boundaries that you have set with yourself and others. So you may find that you're really setting some new parameters on yourself in terms of self-discipline, but not just with that, it's also with other people too. So you may find that you're really able to set some healthy boundaries with others so they can't really take advantage of this new and wonderful butterfly that's emerged. Drawing those lines in the sand, that is definitely a hallmark of this year for you. And as time passes, you'll come to understand and it becomes more apparent with whom you need to draw these lines and where you need to draw these lines and why you need to draw these lines and who needs to go and who needs to stay. Okay, this year is really going to make that known to you. You're not going to be confused anymore because of that. So for you especially, my friends, there's a lot of completion and endings this year, whether it's the end of a cycle or whether it's the year that a relationship finally ends, whether it's the year a work environment finally ends. There's endings that lead to these extremely wonderful new beginnings for you. So don't worry, the universe is working with you to let you know exactly who that is and what it is and when it is. So let's do a little bit more here, okay? Gosh, it's getting so dark out here. So now we're going to do a little bit of a reading for you, my Pisces friends. We're going to focus on what angels are going to be with you this year and what their message is directly for you for this upcoming year. Now, you always have Archangel Sandalphon working with you. He's the angel of Pisces energy. He's the angel that takes our prayers from earth and brings the blessings back down from heaven. He's also the angel that works through song, through music, helping us to get in touch with our creative self, helping us to access memories and areas and feelings of ourselves that may be long buried. But he's also that one that helps our friends and family and close people that have passed on communicate messages through us through songs. So if you hear a song on the radio or at work or wherever you're at and it feels like, oh my gosh, my mom's playing that song or my grandma's, she loved that song, and it helps you to remember things and helps you to feel connected with their soul, he's the angel that facilitates that to happen. He's always working with you. He's your Pisces angel. But we're going to see what other energies are going to be working with you because this is such a transformative year. Let's see who else is going to be around you throughout this year. So I'm checking my stones and seeing who is there for our Pisces friends. Yeah. Well, I wonder who that's going to be then, because this isn't necessarily an angel. This is interesting. I'm not taking this as an angel. I still see this as being Sandalphon coming through, but what this one is a tree agate. And it's so funny because I've done all of my astrology readings for every other sign. You're the very last sign I've done my yearly astrology readings for. And I've done them inside. And something told me that I needed to come outside in this freezing cold and fog to do this reading. And it's interesting because this tree agate is all about that. It's one of the only stones that helps us to feel like it's a sunny day no matter how yucky it might be outside and dark. It helps bring us out of the darkness and into the light, very much so, and it balances those that have seasonal disorders. But not only that, but it helps us to get in touch with nature, helping to ground us. And that's an issue that Pisces has, because you are such an intuitive sign and you're so evolved on a spiritual level that a lot of times, with Neptune being your ruling planet, you may get yourself caught in your mind and in your dreams more so than actually acting in reality. And this is one of those stones that grounds you in this earth and in reality to get things done. So I see that coming through this year, is that energy. Get out in nature more, darn it. You get out and do some more stuff this year, because it's going to help you get in touch with the earth of yourself as well and what your true wants and needs are, and just have some more fun, right? And bring a little bit of happiness in your life. So I know this seems like a lot, but I am going to shuffle this 12 times, my Pisces friends, because you are the 12th sign in the zodiac, the very last. And we are going to see what Sandalphon has to say beyond just that, with getting out in nature more, getting in touch with nature more, grounding ourselves more, getting things done, moving from the head into reality. Wow, this is going to take a second. We got 5 more here. I have to be really on top of this one here, too. They're really adamant about that I focus on my shuffling. This one. Oh, isn't that something? Okay, so this year, by golly, you're going to be faced with some sort of really interesting choice. This is the card of stagnation, being unable to make a choice, being stuck between the two. And it's very difficult because you're weighing out both sides very, very much so. And you know what happens in that indecisiveness is that we find that we actually don't act at all. We don't do anything because we want to be stuck in that thought process. And just in that alone, we say, well, I guess I don't need to act because I can't come to a decision. This year, especially as I have this stone that tells you to act. Remember I said it's not about being in the mind, it's about acting. This year, they're really pushing you to act, okay? Because there's some wonderful new beginnings and opportunities that come as a result. Yeah, this card just basically says being unable or unwilling to make a decision. You're at a stalemate and you're pretending that there isn't a problem when in actuality there may very well be. And we saw that in so many ways, didn't we, where they were talking about that, whether it's friendship, whether it's work, whether it's relationship, whether it's home, whether it's family, whatever it is, you fill in the blank. I know you know what it is, Pisces. This is the year they say to act. Okay, you need to act and pretend that there isn't a problem. No more. We're not doing that anymore. We're moving out of the mind and moving into reality. So this year, my Pisces friends, know that Archangel Sandalphon hears your prayers just like God does. And he's going to take those prayers right up to him. And this year, they're going to bring something down to you. There's so many blessings and so many opportunities for networking this year to help you increase your finances, to help you better support yourself, to help you better support your family, and to just improve yourself and your future in ways you may have never even seen before. So, my Pisces friends, enjoy this wonderful year of 2017. Thank you. Bye.